Hello again, I am Blunty. I feel a bit guilty about not doing as many gaming related videos as I would have liked recently. Things just got kind of out of hand. I lost inspiration for a while, didn't make a bunch of videos for a couple of weeks in a row, and then busy stuff and have to do this and deadlines and bits and pieces. But anyway, so what I've decided to do is compress all the games I should have done full reviews on, really, into one video, into kind of a what you been playing kind of video. So first up, Lego Star Wars 3. Now, historically, I love Lego. Lego's great. I think it's one of the best toys ever invented. Brilliant thing, and I've enjoyed the Lego video games. I haven't loved them. Some of them have been quite good, but I haven't really been able to get into any of them. But Lego Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars is what I consider to be the best of the Lego games that I've played. And I haven't played all of them, but this one really stood out. It's very, very highly polished, very fun, and if you like the Lego games at all, if you're even remotely interested in, check it out. Next up is LA Noire, which is apparently fantastic, but it's it's one of those games I've been waiting for a block of time so I can dig into properly. I've barely scratched the surface of it, and I feel very guilty about that because it was put together by the Team Bondi Rockstar guys here in Australia, actually. But when I get some time, maybe next weekend, I'll dig into this properly and go all the way through it. But I can tell you that I've got some friends who have played it and have just recently finished the entire main storyline campaign and thought it was fan-friggin-tastic, and that seems to be the general consensus of the reviews over it as well. Now, on to the 3DS. Haven't done any videos about the games on the 3DS since I did the launch type games, you know, leading up to the launch of the hardware itself, and then the review of the console itself. So I've got a stack of 3DS games here that I could have been reviewing, but just didn't get around to for whatever reason. Ghost Recon Shadow Wars. Got that as a pre-order bonus, as a part of a pre-order pack when I got my 3DS. I don't like it. It's slow and kind of tedious, and I just want it to move faster, but it won't move faster. Apparently, for people who are really into that sort of turn-based strategy, real-time thingy type of game, it's quite good, but I didn't like it at all, and it's probably going to go on the trade-in list next time I go to buy a game that I need a trade-in for. Now, Nintendogs is the next one. I haven't been playing it much, but when I have played it, I've realised that it could suck and destroy, suck in, that is, a great deal of my life. So I've been trying to avoid playing it because I've got better things to be doing than playing with a virtual puppy. But for those of you out there with time to play with virtual puppies and kittens and stuff, it's really quite adorable in a very, very sweet way. Next up, Steel Diver. One of the launch games again. It feels kind of mini-game-ish to me. It's kind of fun to play. It's very kind of nifty in the concepts it brings forth, but it feels very mini-game-ish. I couldn't really get into it, and yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it to anyone. Pilot Wings Resort is the next one. Again, it feels very, very mini-game-ish, but I really like this one. It's very simple, and you know, it's not very deep, and there's like no storyline or anything. You just basically fly around in different methods of airborne transportation and do tricks and fly through certain courses and rings and stuff and perform certain feats to build up points, and it's very much a sort of mini game, a lot like the stuff when the Wii first came out, but it is very good when you've just got like, I've got 8 minutes to kill before I have to go and leave the house and do whatever I have to do, and you can pick up and play this for 8 minutes and you're not going to feel like you've left anything behind when you just close up the 3DS and head out the door. So yeah, it's worth owning just for that sort of quick burst gameplay. Street Fighter 4 3D Edition, very, very fun. I'm not really going to need to say much about this because Street Fighter 4 has been on sort of everywhere you look, even on the bloody iPhone there's a version in there. But yeah, fairly solid 3D game. The fairly solid 2D fighting game, I should say. The 3D effects really don't add to the game at all. You can turn them completely off and it feels like exactly the same game. So it's not really the game you want to show off the 3D effect with, but it's a solid 2D fighter if that's what you're into. Speaking of which, Dead or Alive Dimensions, a 3D fighter. Now, I've never really been into the Dead or Alive series. When it comes to fighting games, I've either been Street Fighter, type arcade 2D fighter, or the Tekken side of things. And this is kind of halfway in between. It's not quite as complex as Tekken or Soul Calibur or anything like that. So you can get a bit button mashy with it and still kick ass all over the place. I want to say it's too button mashy, but then again, it's, you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's fun to have a fighting game where you don't have to learn 45 different move combinations just to get through a fight. With this, you can button mash, or you can dig into ridiculous amounts of combos and stuff that take 37 different control presses and button moves to pull off a sequence of moves. You also got a bit of a cheat section on there as well, where you can just tap the move on the touchscreen and have the computer do it for you if you feel like being a bit of a noob. But it's a lot of fun. It looks pretty. The stages and everything are really lovely set out, and the animations are smooth. The fighting moves look cool. There's interesting characters in there and costumes and all that sort of stuff you want in sort of a modern fighting game. So definitely worth checking that one out. Now, last on the list, Dragon Quest Realms of Reverie, and I haven't even put this in my 3DS yet because this is one of those Japanese role-playing game type of games, and it's going to take a lot of time to really get into it. It's a remake of a original NES game, I think. NES? SNES. I should have done my research before starting this video, but it's a remake of an older Dragon Quest game, and apparently it's quite popular, but it's quite technical, and only the people who really love the JRPG style games are really gonna get into this, apparently. But from what I've heard from people who do like that style of game, it's pretty awesome. So again, one of those games, when I get time to play it, I'm sure I'll get into it, but for right now, busy. So what have you been playing on the 3DS? We're just about to see the launch of a game that so many people have been just frothing at the mouth for, just salivating and waiting to get their hands on it, because it's going to be the first really good game on the 3DS that people are going to go, that's the reason I need to own a 3DS. And it is, of course, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And I've got good news for you. I've just been speaking to Nintendo today, as a matter of fact, and I've got something to do with the launch of that game coming up later this week, so stay tuned. In the meantime, what have you been playing? What games have I just shown you that I'm missing out on, particularly on console stuff? So I've barely touched the consoles in the last month or so. It's ridiculous, really. But, I'm a busy guy, and at times lazy too. Even when I do get an hour off and I'm knackered, all I want to do is lie on the couch and watch episodes of Astro Boy and Scrubs and Top Gear and stuff like that. So what have you been playing? I'm Blunty. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.